Hello again, listeners. This is Grant 117 here. Welcome back to the United Fancast for another great season. We got my co-hosts here, Khalid and Red Sid 63 or Patrick Taylor. Say hello, guys.
Good evening.
Hi, what's up?
It's been a very busy window for us, and some would say it's a pretty disappointing window. But we got our player, we got our man, and Fellaini is the man. So what do you guys think about that? Good signing or clutch signing or not really?
I'll let you go first, Pat.
I think it's a pretty reasonable signing. There's been a lot of negativity over him on the site, on FootyTube and that, but Moyes has worked with him for 5 years, so he knows what the lad's like. And compared him his age to Cleverley, then he's a much better player. He'll bring a lot more to the club.
Yeah, I think he's a better, more solid midfielder than Cleverley or Anderson would be. So yeah, I think it's a good of a upgrade. I wouldn't say a huge upgrade, but I think it'll do to help the title defense. What do you think?
I think Fellaini is pretty much our Fletcher from a couple of years back, except that he's a better header of the ball and he can win more aerial duels than Fletcher could. I think if we had Fletcher, I don't think we'd be signing Fellaini. So I don't know what this means for Darren's future. But as for Fellaini, we only have three midfielders as it is. Carrick, Anderson, and Cleverley. Assuming all three stay fit and healthy for most of the season, if not the whole season, then we would still need a Fellaini, most likely, for rotation and everything. But he's okay. I don't think he's better than what we've got, but he offers something different in terms of physicality and corner kicks, heading the ball, and being able to go forward. At least he takes a chance in going forward. I like that about him. Even though I don't think he's the best player technically.
Yeah, that's true. Do you think it was a good choice for us? We paid, what was it, 27.5 million? Do you think he's worth it? Yeah.
No, I don't think he's worth
No,
it.
Okay.
I don't think he's worth that much. The only good thing is he's still young. He's only 25, 1 year older than Cleverley, but we clearly overpaid for him by at least, in my opinion, like 7 million. I think he's worth 20 max, but that's 4 million more than the clause anyway. So we got screwed by Everton royally. I mean, also when in the United website we said it was an undisclosed fee, and on the Everton website before that they said it was 27.5 million. So Everton literally screwed us over by revealing that.
Yeah, I think we paid a little bit too much, in my opinion, for him. I wish he could have gotten Herrera, another target in the transfer window, but it was failed. We couldn't get the money in time to get him, or what was it? Something about that. I couldn't remember if anybody remembers about that situation.
But go ahead, Khalid.
No, I think I don't know what it was exactly, because in the articles on the Telegraph and the Guardian, it seems like one side of the story is that we had the money, but we didn't anticipate the tax law problems,
Okay.
or it was that we didn't have the money and we withdrew. And then there's the three lawyers or the three imposters thing. I don't know. I think some of the papers are being briefed by the United hierarchy.
What was that all about? I mean, that seems strange, in my opinion. Imposters? Thought maybe they would recognize our officials or guys to be sent our representations of the club. I thought that was pretty weird.
I've never seen anything like this in football so far. I mean, I'm sure Pat must have not seen something like this in all these years. Have you?
No, not really, to be quite honest. But reading the article in the Guardian, they said, well, they get up to all sorts of dirty tricks nowadays. So it's like the mail being sent, the false email from United. And they said as well, United only valued him at 20 million. 25 million, and not the price that Bilbao wanted.
Yeah, it's a bit of extreme, but yeah. I heard
the imposters. The thing that you're talking about, the imposters. There's one story, I think it was in the Guardian or something, that they said that the imposters were not sent by United because we have our own law firm that we employ in Spain that we use, like probably for the De Gea situation or whatever, but we didn't use them. But I don't think three lawyers would just come up to the La Liga headquarters and work for free, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Why would they just come and work for free to help us get this guy?
I'm not too sure. Maybe they know the tax laws better in Spain better than we do. Maybe.
Yeah, but why would they come to the headquarters and work for free? As in, why make it easy for us to get him? And if we didn't contact them, then that means we didn't sign some sort of contract with them saying if you work for us and you make the signing happen, we'll give you this much money. If we didn't sign such a contract, then why would they come and do some charity work for us? These three lawyers were experts in Spain tax law, who also helped in the Javi Martinez case when he was going to Bayern Munich.
I don't know, it's really weird.
Yeah.
Maybe they were thinking they could get some money out of us at a later date or something.
Yeah, maybe they were.
What?
Yeah, maybe they were closet United fans trying to do some work in the mix.
What do you guys think? Do you think they were imposters, or do you think that we actually did send them, but we're now playing a PR trick in the media saying that we actually didn't send them?
Yeah,
what do you think?
I think it has to be like we did send them. I mean, why would random people just go up to the owners of Atletico Madrid and ask them to help fund the transfer or understand the loss of the transfer without knowing some information from us, knowing that we want the player? I mean, it doesn't seem right, in my opinion, to send these three guys or however many guys over to Spain and negotiate a deal to send the player our way. I mean, it doesn't make sense. What do you think, Pat?
Like I say, it doesn't make sense. Maybe they weren't there representing United. Maybe they were in it for somebody else, and it's just been coupled onto our story. Like
maybe they were undercover. Maybe they weren't supposed to know about their, give away their identities. Maybe.
Yeah.
But I can't say for sure.
But the biggest, what do you think of the transfer window so far, though? Everything has happened. From the end of May till today, what do you think of the whole window for us?
It's been pretty piss poor, in my opinion. I'd give it a D-. I mean, yeah.
Just because you got Fellaini and Varela and some kid called Zaidi Yanko and a hell of a lot of sponsors.
The sponsors are good, don't get me wrong, but the way we approach players, I think, is not that good, in my opinion. They say Ed Woodward. I mean, I don't really blame him. I don't blame Woodward at all, nor Moyes. Moyes doesn't really. He just says which players to go find and which one he wants. He's not really in charge of actually go getting them. But maybe Woodward could have done a little bit better, in my opinion. I mean, my knowledge on the whole sending out of transfers and go finding them and actually, getting them to sign a deal, it's not very, concrete. But I do know a little bit that, Woodward's been taking forever to go. we couldn't find him for what, a month or so, or a couple weeks. We didn't know where he was because he left preseason tour in Sweden, I believe. I think it was, or Australia.
No, it was in Australia.
After that, we didn't even know where the hell he was up until what was it? He was at the
Liverpool game. I think he was.
Something
was
like
he?
that, or I was actually thinking the award celebrations with UEFA Champions League.
The Champions League.
I heard he was over there, so I mean, but still, why the hell is he there? He should be getting some work done, So, but I'm not really blaming him. This is maybe he's not really knowledgeable on football. I mean, he's more of a finance guy like the Glazers. So, I mean, there's nothing really we can say about that, but.
I mean, he supposedly has some knowledge on the football side because in one interview he said that he talked to Sir Alex and he used to identify the players and they'd go after him. I think he has some experience. I think the strategy was risky. I mean, I wrote that the previous article, but the strategy was risky, which is fine. I'm okay with it. It was ambitious, right? We're trying to get for Fabregas and Ronaldo and this and that. But there's the last 3 weeks that really pissed me off. That I don't understand what were they trying to do. If after they failed to get Fabregas, they wanted Fellaini, right? That really badly. Why would you leave all these players to sign or try to sign to the last 2 days or 3 days of the window? Because when you're trying to sign all these players, Woodward, Michael Bolingbroke, David Moyes, and the other guys behind the scenes, they're all working on so many different deals that the manpower is so stretched you can't actually be efficient in getting any deal done properly.
Yeah, I just didn't understand what we were doing the last 3 weeks. I mean, we bid, excuse me, for a whole slew of players, midfield, defenders. I mean, it was weird what we were doing because I didn't actually know if we were going to get those players because we're underpaying apparently. Fellaini and Baines at the point was too expensive. I think, what did we bid? Like 30 something million pounds or more than that?
30, 38, I think
Yeah.
it was the last offer for both of them to combine.
Right, and they rejected us, so I didn't even actually think if we were just going to get only Fellaini, which did end up happening at the end, but it was just so close. I mean, the hell if I know what we were doing. I'm actually glad we actually got a signing down, and supposedly now we're after Coentrao. I mean, that's I didn't even think we even actually needed him, but I mean, we were supposedly after him, and we couldn't get a deal through because we didn't get the paperwork done to Madrid a lot faster. But he could have been in our team too, and we weren't even linked with him the whole window. But the last day, we were linked with them, and we could have gotten him. But I mean, it was just a weird window for us, in my opinion. But
What do you think of the thing window and Ed Woodward, Pat?
I think we just went into panic mode. The biggest embarrassment,
right? Yeah.
The biggest embarrassment, of course, is Fellaini. I mean, everybody's saying Moyes wants to research his players, wants to know everything about them, but he knows everything about Fellaini. So why the hell are we paying 5, 6, 7 million above the clause?
Yeah,
we should have been in there, bought him, and then we could always come back for Baines. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's another good point. Why are we going after Fellaini so late? And because Moyes knows the player, and you see how reluctant we are to pay for him. So we obviously wanted somebody better than him. So
I think the biggest problem for me regarding the clause, I mean, we're always talking the clause. Why wouldn't we get it for cheaper? You know, why don't we just activate the clause before July the 31st? That's when his clause expired. Right. We went for Thiago from like the third week of May after our season ended. We were after getting Thiago, and then that chase ended on, let's say, the first week of July when he signed for Bayern. The whole time we were interested in getting him, except for the last 2 days or so when Moyes supposedly pulled out of the deal because he's not sure about him. So why the hell were we chasing for weeks then?
Yeah, I don't understand what we were doing. I mean, I thought at one point we were going to get Thiago, but it's just been delayed by so long, and then Bayern got interested, and then there's no turning back from that incident then on. But I don't know. It's been so weird. Our interests. I can say for sure what we were trying to do, but I know for sure we weren't gonna try to get Fellaini. That's for sure. I think Fellaini was last in the list, in my opinion, of the transfers to get.
Yeah, I think. I mean, once the Thiago chase ended on the first week of July, we started going for Fabregas immediately. But in order to test Barca's resolve, we should have at least bid 40 million on the table in the first go, or 35 million on the table in the first attempt, and then try to coerce, Fabregas into putting a transfer request or saying something in the media that's good for us, and he tries to come to us. So maybe we could lower the final price and get him. But we didn't actually put in a lot of money on the table. Barca were definitely going to laugh it off. They're never going to consider that. And chasing him took all the way up till the first week of August or something like that.
Yeah.
And by that time, the Fellaini clause had expired, and now we were after Fellaini. So now the 3 weeks left of the transfer market, we were after Fellaini and Baines, as if Everton are going to sell both of their best players to us for, let's say, a reasonable price. That's not even going to happen. They're going to sell them for big prices, assuming they even sold both of them to us. I don't understand that. If Fellaini was the main guy we wanted on the midfield list since Thiago and Fabregas rejected us, why don't we just buy Fellaini between the first week and the second week of August? And then we could leave, let's say, a left-back signing till the last, for the next 2 weeks or so, and get one. If Baines says no, fine. But I don't get why did we chase Baines to the last day of the window, and then randomly, let's say at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, we just said, okay, fine, we can't get him. Let's go for Coentrao. We didn't file the paperwork in time, and Real Madrid couldn't get that left-back from Granada. I think he went to Benfica.
Yeah.
It's because of the fact that they couldn't get that backup left-back from Granada. that they cancelled the Coentrao deal in the last
Right.
minute.
I
Why did
think
we?
I think the
Yeah.
communication within the club is broken down. I mean, it's been pointed out that Woodward wants to move to work out of his office in London, whereas Gill
Yeah.
was at Old Trafford. So Fergie and Gill, I know you got video conferencing, but Fergie and Gill could sit and talk things through, whereas you got Woodward in London, Moyes on the other side of the world, and it's just a complete communication breakdown.
Yeah, I
Add
think
to
he's
that,
based in Mayfair in
Right.
London, I think.
add to that, we don't actually know how much of anything is true. It'd be good if United come out with a statement to the supporters saying, well, this is how it went, this is what we bet on or bid on and why we did it. Because at the moment, everything's just speculation from the one newspaper to the next one.
Yeah.
Did we actually bid on Thiago?
No, we did not bid on Thiago.
No, we didn't. We didn't put an official bid or anything. We just talked to Thiago, trying to get an agreement. Now it depends. Some people say that Thiago deliberately delaying us so that he can sign for Bayern, or some say that Moyes in the 11th hour decided, okay, we don't want Thiago, because I don't know too much about him, and then he went to Bayern, something like that. But I don't know which one you guys agree with. But if the Moyes one is true, it's weird. Why would he chase a guy for what, a month, over a month, and then end up saying last minute, okay, I don't want him.
Yeah. I mean,
I think Moyes has got the reputation as being incredibly methodical. He wants to know every single thing about the player before he'll go in for a player. I think you read the article, or you posted it, Khalid, about the setup what he had at Everton.
Right.
And with the three different boards and everything. Yeah, and he's just not been at the club long enough to get his setup going. I hope that by January or by next year it'll be sorted.
Right.
Like,
that's also the reason why we've been taking so long in the window as well. Moyes is trying to assess his squad. I mean, even though he was known by May he was going to be the new United manager, I think he takes a very rigid process into understanding his players, and he just doesn't. He's not like a Mourinho type of guy that, you know, okay, I'm coming into Chelsea and I'm gonna search for the players that I want by then. But he really focuses on his team that he's working with before he does anything else. So, I mean, that may sound like not a good excuse of why we were taking so long in the window, but, you know, like he even said it himself in an interview, like he hasn't been in the job too long. He just started the job. I mean, it's going to be difficult for him to actually assess his squad and see what the strengths are and the weaknesses are to his team. So you can't just make any signing, possible. So
yeah, I think it was fair for the players that we had, the squad, that he first comes in, assesses them, and then moves into transfer market. It's fair for them. But I suppose it's unfair for supporters because we all already knew that central midfield is a big problem, that we would like some more quality on the wings because we don't want to play Giggs or Young over there, or Valencia, assuming he doesn't improve after last season's stinker. But I understand why he took time to assess the squad. He officially moved into the market, in my opinion, around mid-July when he bid for Fabregas. The only person he actually tried to get before that was Thiago, but then he withdrew from that thing in the last minute or the 11th hour, and then he went to Bayern. But what I don't understand is who was setting the deadlines when Moyes gave the list of targets, like on the last day. Who was the one commanding the ship, if you know what I mean? On the last day, why were we after Baines? Was it Ed who was going after Baines the last minute? Or was it Moyes who told Ed to go after Baines the last minute? Why don't we just give up by, let's say, at 11 o'clock in the morning or something like that and say, fuck it, let's just go for Coentrao. And then we would have got him. And Real Madrid would have got their backup left back and we'd have Coentrao right now.
I'm not too sure what we were trying to do, but there's definitely wasn't a concrete plan, that's for sure. And I don't know. I don't want to say Fellaini's a bad signing, but at the same time, it's not the signing I was expecting during the whole damn.
He's at least overpriced. If we can't say he's a bad player or he's average or he's got big hair or anything like that, but it's at least overpriced.
Definitely.
That's for sure.
I was definitely expecting a lot more experienced player to come in that's of highest quality, like Fergie said before he left. We're after the players with highest quality and whatever, and experienced, and I mean a lot more better than anyone would ever imagine to get. And everybody was talking about breaking the
Transfer record.
and whatnot, and it it was just disappointing. I mean, I was disappointed in the way we were doing things in the last week of the window. I mean, I knew we weren't going to get any deals done. And I knew Fellaini was definitely going to be the man to come into our team, but I didn't actually think it was going to go through deadline day. You know what I mean? Like it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad, but you know,
Like,
yeah, we got him. I mean, I guess I can't complain. A new addition, but I mean, we just have to see.
I think one of the main things, like on Twitter, for example, you just put hashtag MUFC, and then you see what the fans are saying, and there's a lot of conspiracy theories that either Ed is incompetent, which he probably is, in my opinion. He doesn't know the market too well. I don't think he has the contacts. I mean, look, this guy he's come from the finance sector, right?
Yeah.
He knows all about saying sponsors. I'm sure he's got all these contacts on speed dial on his mobile phone. But how many agents, how many CEOs, how many director of football does he have on his speed
Right.
dial? You know what I'm saying? On his phone. I don't know. I think that's the problem. But there's another conspiracy theory that we consistently kept bidding low and not getting the players because the Glazers didn't want to spend money. Do you guys agree with that? Do you think the Glazers didn't want to spend money at all?
I think it's obvious that the Glazers have got a hell of a lot of influence in it. Yeah, I mean, we didn't bid low once, twice. We bid low every time. Basically.
Yeah, we did. I mean, I didn't understand. I mean, we apparently had a, I guess, don't quote me on this, but we apparently had limitless. I don't know the correct word, but how they said it, but limitless transfer budget. Is that correct?
Yeah, we did.
I don't know.
Ed said that. Ed and Moyes, I think both of them said that at the same time.
I didn't know why we couldn't. I mean, these guys are top class players. I mean, they're not going to leave the club for. 25 million. That's some like Fabregas for 25 million. That was some bullshit. I mean, he's a class act. I mean, I wouldn't want to go away from the club that I worked hard to getting into for 25 million. You're going to have to give more than that. So I was thinking more of the lines of 45, 50 million maybe. I mean,
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why we didn't actually try to, do that, but I mean, it's clear we were trying to save some money on the side or something. I don't know what we were trying to do, but I read your article, Khalid, and maybe we were trying to lure Cristiano Ronaldo away from Real Madrid, but this thing is
I think we were banking so much on the Bale domino effect that when he goes to Madrid, maybe Ronaldo will be available, and we didn't want to miss the boat and say, oh, we signed other players, but now we don't have enough money to buy Ronaldo, and he's gone to, let's say, City or PSG or Chelsea or whatever. I think that was one of the key pieces of the strategy, because the whole summer, you kept hearing valid reports that we were talking to Ronaldo, even journalists said so on other podcasts that, we were talking to him. So I think we were hoping the Bale domino will work for us, but it didn't, and they ended up selling pretty much Ozil at the end of the day to make up for the shortfall.
Yeah, I really wish it was Cristiano instead of Bale. I mean, I was really shocked when it was Ozil, the guy to leave the Real Madrid, and I actually wanted it to be Ronaldo, of course, but I was actually shocked it was him instead. And
I thought Di Maria out of all people would have gone,
or even him. Yeah, I mean. Wow, I mean, they just lost a huge playmaker for the team, but I mean, they got Bale and Isco and the other guy they got from
I think with Illaramendi.
Yeah.
I think the Glazers did try to support him. I think the Glazers did try to support Moyes. Like Pat said earlier that the Glazers didn't support. I think they did. It's just the fact that we tried to get Ronaldo meant we couldn't spend most of the money on Fabregas, but we still should have at least started with a 40 million bid or 35 million bid, initial bid, which we didn't. I don't know why that was the case, but whatever, they did what they did.
Right.
But I think they did try to support, because on the last day we put in a 35 million pound, 40 million euro bid for Khadira.
Right.
That clearly is overpaying for him, in my opinion, again. But the money was there and they tried to spend it, but they didn't seem to know how to spend it.
Yeah, we've made the wrong approach. Yeah, we didn't know what.
I think one of the factors that has been important. There's been the Rooney thing as well, of course, because
yes,
that's cost a hell of a lot of energy.
That's
They're constantly having to fight with Chelsea. And regards Ronaldo, I think David Levy stuffed us. He kept Real Madrid hanging on right to the last day, you know what I mean? The guy is incredibly
he's probably trying
smart,
to screw Arsenal, though.
Yeah.
He ended up screwing a lot of us, basically. You know what I mean?
But yeah, Spurs did a lot of wow. I don't.
They were buying players as it was about to go out of fashion.
Yeah, I mean they bought a lot of good, but they got a lot of good talent out of the Bale sale though. They got Eriksson, Lamela, who I thought could be really good for us.
Willian, Paulinho.
No, they didn't get Willian.
Soldado.
Yeah, they didn't get. They were gonna get Willian.
Oh, sorry, they didn't. Yeah, I mean, I kept thinking they actually got Willian.
No, yeah.
He was sitting in their office for like 4 hours or something.
Yeah, that was actually a scare tactic for Mourinho. They bought him. So, but yeah, they have more attacking midfielders and a whole lot now, and the whole.
I think only Chelsea have more attacking midfielders than they do.
Yeah, dude, it's wow, ridiculous from Chelsea, but they have more attacking midfielders and strikers in their whole team, so that should say a lot. But yeah, Spurs have done a lot of recruiting in this window, and I really didn't want Bale to stay another season at least, but he left for the right amount of cash. So I mean, I guess we can't say no. You can't say no 100 million, right? So
I would have sold him if I was Spurs for that much money for a guy who I don't think is as good as Ronaldo at that age, who I think will never become as good as Ronaldo ever. I think I would have accepted the money.
Yeah,
for sure.
I would have accepted it as well. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I would like for him to stay, but can't be everything, and I don't support Spurs, so it wins both ways. So
yeah, but it's a shame because he was like the main star, upcoming star in the league.
Yeah.
And his pictures all over some area in America, some major square.
Right.
I can't remember which square it was. And now, throughout the summer, his pictures there, and they were saying watch the Premier League because you can watch him, and now that guy is in La Liga.
Yeah.
So it's like a blow to the Premier League for sure, even though we got all this talent in.
Yeah.
But in terms of hype, we definitely lost out to La Liga again.
Yeah. So what do you guys think about the season now that we have Fellaini? What do you guys think? Can we definitely get the title back again, defend the title, or do you guys still see some weaknesses in our team?
Looking at the Liverpool match and the Chelsea match, the weakness is obvious. We don't have a creative midfielder, and Fellaini's not going to sort that out. So, third place, second at the most.
Well, I really want to see more of Kagawa, in my opinion. He's the creative man we need. We already have him. The problem is just playing him. Rooney's out again. He got cut again. That guy just never stops.
Scary cut, that was.
That guy just never stops being cut. Like Jesus Christ. But yeah,
have you seen it?
Yeah, it's huge. It is really huge, and it's top of his head. That's really bad.
Yeah, it's actually pretty deep.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. Actually, it's like the skin could easily peeled off. You can actually see what's inside.
What did he do? Like, was he in training?
I don't know.
What?
He was in training with Jones. Something Jones did. Maybe it was a high boot. Maybe he headbutted him or something.
Jeez.
If that's the case, then Jones is now stronger than Vidic, in my opinion.
Jesus. But yeah, hopefully now that Rooney's out, we get to see Kagawa a lot more, and hopefully he can, keep up with the pace and get a little bit more fit, able to keep the attack alive. But the thing is, I want to see him play more in the center forward, center attacking midfield position more than Rooney, and try to shift Rooney out wide. But I'm not sure if it's possible. But I'd like to see that more than Rooney in the center that we usually do. So because there's no doubt about that if Rooney's back, then that's bad news for Kagawa. He's not going to get a lot of game time.
I think in some ways actually good news for us. I mean, the flip side is if Rooney gets that side, means somehow trying to fit Kagawa in, means that the left side will be Kagawa. It won't be Young, it won't be Giggs, and that means Nani and Zaha will have to fight with Valencia for the right wing. I think in some ways it's good because if we want Kagawa, we have to sell Rooney. If we want Rooney, we sell Kagawa. Unless we want to fit both, then Kagawa is going to play on the left wing. I think it's fine. In my opinion, the match against Chelsea we did well. Chelsea came playing defensive. It's not our fault. We played well. With our midfield as well, we did amazing.
Right.
I think we even had most possession.
Yeah.
In Liverpool game, clearly playing Giggs as our centre attack midfielder means the creativity was pretty much non-existent, and Young was rubbish. So as he is most of the time anyway, Valencia was better at right back than Young was at left wing in terms of attacking. So
yeah,
as long as we play well, I think we'll put in a good challenge for the title. But I still think we'll go into the January transfer market maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we need another.
sure.
We definitely need Herrera back. You said we're gonna go after him again in January.
Yeah, we owe him some sort of loyalty at least. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was
Yep.
considering taking a pay cut to join us, so that's respectable a lot. I mean, we have to go back for him again. And he's actually a pretty decent midfielder. He's actually the likes of Carrick, in my opinion. That's what he looks like. Able to,
I think he's better at box to box. I don't know who to describe him as,
yeah,
to be honest. But he seems like if he's among better players, he'll flourish. And he seems to have all the right ingredients, I suppose, as a player, all the right attributes, and he could do well.
yeah, he has
But
a lot of energy as well.
But supposedly, according to the papers, that Moyes actually likes Herrera quite a lot. So maybe we'll buy out his clause and we'll get him.
Yeah,
But the paper said that Ed is going to sit with Moyes and they're gonna go over targets that they can go buy in January. So I hope that's true. But they're also going to launch an internal investigation, according to the Guardian and Goal.com, which is crazy. I mean, how can you the two people who fucked it up? How can you ask both of them to actually start an inquiry as to why you fucked it up?
yeah. I don't know. They need to do better in January. If they say they're gonna get some targets in January, which I highly doubt, then hopefully they go and get some players. But I'm really not expecting any good January signings. I mean, Herrera is possibly the best one we can actually get, or some gem in some lower league team or something like that that's in the Europa League. But I really don't expect a huge amount of recruitment coming from the January window. I think this year was definitely this window, the one that we just recently passed, was definitely the ones to get all the players we needed to, the class players we needed, so.
I think one of the problems is that who are you going to pick as your top class midfielder?
Right.
Take Fabregas out and who's left over?
Yeah, that's also true.
Yeah.
I mean,
your actual creative midfielders, the top ones are all tied up at their own clubs.
Yeah.
It's no use going after Ribery. It's no use going after Iniesta or somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
I mean, there are some gems, but they're all like kids, like maybe 18 years old or 19 years old,
Right.
and they'll themselves take like 2-3 years to become, polished. But I mean, there's only like one or two guys that are like really good. We could get them, but they're really expensive. Like I don't get why in the last 3 days the window's about to end. And this one I blame Moyes. He identified the target. Why in the last 3 days we need to buy a midfielder? Why did we spend so much time into getting Herrera, who's from Bilbao, and we all know that Bilbao will give us hell when it comes to buying their players. So 3 days left. You got very little time. You went after a target from a club where it's almost impossible to get that player. Who decided to go ahead with that? Why did Moyes identify him as the guy we should go after in the last 3 days? I think that was crazy.
Yeah, it wasn't a good choice by us, but I mean, like I said, I don't know exactly what we were doing, but I mean,
I think there was a theory that Ed Woodward opened up the 2010 review of the World Cup and said we decided to go for who's who of the CMs in the world at that time. And we went for De Rossi, Schneider, Modric, Khadira, and God knows what not. I don't know if Khadira played in 2010 World Cup, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he did.
We just played for everybody.
Yeah.
There was even rumours that we made a bid for Snyder. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
right.
Yeah.
Right.
The Galatasaray sporting director confirmed we made an informal approach 2 weeks ago, and we made another approach on the last day, deadline day,
Right.
and they rejected us again. So
Yeah. Just a shambles. Complete and utter shambles. No other description.
Yeah, it was.
But weren't you laughing on the last day? Like I was eating dinner after the deadline day ended. I couldn't stop laughing at the at the madness of it all that we witnessed.
Yeah,
At everything, completely clueless
yeah.
CEO, noise, dithering,
Look.
imposters, and everything.
Yeah, it looked like we were cracking up, but like we didn't know what the fuck we were doing. We're just complete amateurs for a top club. Oh man.
Our reputation took quite a blow, I think, in this summer transfer market. I just hope Moyes, as Pat said earlier, he's very methodical. Moyes likes to know everything about his players he's going to buy, and not just the players he has. So I hope he gets those whiteboards set up properly somewhere in Old Trafford, or Carrington, and he gets the thing going, and we get some players in Jan, because we clearly have I think 60-70% of the budget left untouched. So there's no excuse to not have ambition to spend the money. But as Pat said, most of these guys are not just tied up in big clubs, the centre midfielders, but they're also Champions League tied then. So we can't really go after them now.
I think if we can get one good top midfielder in January and we can keep him reasonably in touch until January, we could go for the title. But we can't afford to drop many more points at this point. We just lost 5 points in 2 games, and Chelsea are not going to give many points away this season.
No. How do you guys think about? How do you guys think about
City?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think they're going to flop. It's the same thing as what you got at Tottenham. They bought. They've got so many top players, but you can only put 11 on the field at the end of the day. And they've got to gel.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's and for Pellegrini, it's a new league, new team. Everything's new for him as well.
Right.
Yeah, he's a good coach. I just don't know if he's gonna acclimatize quickly enough to the league. It'll probably take a year. So I don't think they will win the league. They'll probably challenge maybe, but I still think between us and Chelsea, I think Moyes is a good tactician and he's a good motivator. So I think he'll do well with what he's got, and if he does well with what he's got, meaning that's a title challenge for sure.
What about the good old Scousers? That's in first place.
Oh, Liverpool. No, I don't think they have enough depth and quality, to be honest.
Yeah, they're
not in my life.
They could probably challenge for 4th place, but all it's gonna be down to the depth of your squad. And that's what's really the whole season, to be honest, how good your team is over a good period of time. And I don't think Liverpool has that quality yet, but they are getting there, though. I mean, can't.
I think in some ways the Premier League has become more competitive because City bought well, Chelsea bought well-ish, we bought really poorly, and Arsenal bought okay, and Liverpool bought well-ish, and Spurs bought really well. So that would mean that since we screwed up with our transfer market business, that the gap between us and the team that stays 6th is going to be smaller. And that would mean a more competitive league for sure. So maybe it's going to bring in more money for us or for Uncle Malcolm Glazer.
It could mean the top teams dropping more points as well. Like you say, Chelsea getting draws, City losing games. The trick is, it's well known, it's getting the points when you're playing badly. It's the away games at Stoke and Norwich and Lem, they're the ones that count at the end of the season as well.
Yeah, speaking of Stoke, I heard they're playing well. I haven't seen their game, but I heard they're playing proper football now.
That's surprising.
Mark Hughes effect, I guess.
That guy. Wow. What do you guys think about what are you guys' reaction to the Champions League draw from our group stage games?
I think the worst trip is going to be to Russia. It always comes in between 2 top games for some reason.
I think Germany.
No, it's Ukraine. Ukraine.
I think Germany's going to be pretty bad for us. I mean, Bayer is a pretty good team. They're a pretty solid team, but I guess they still can do a little bit of damage. But it all depends on us because we've been having some pretty poor records in the group stage of the Champions League. But I mean, these are some good teams. They're Real Sociedad. They're pretty good as well. They got a really good defensive talent that I do want to keep my eye on. But who else did we get?
Leverkusen,
Sociedad,
Sociedad, Minsk.
Shakhtar.
Yeah, we
Did we get
did.
Shakhtar?
They're also
Shakhtar and
uh,
Leverkusen.
they also have Bernard Shakhtar. I guess we could see how he does against us, but I'm not gonna put any expectations on him because it's his first season there and he's kind of a young player. But Shakhtar shouldn't be that good like they were back then. But and who's the other last team?
Shakhtar, Leverkusen, Real Sociedad.
Oh, all right, that's it, and us. Yeah, that should be it.
I think the matches away from home in the Champions League the group stage ones will be like will be difficult, and we'll do what we always do, which is sit tight and just somehow get a goal or just take a draw. I think the home games is what's important. We must win them for sure. At least get 9 points on the board from the home games. But it's a knockout stage. Moyes' Champions League experience, which he has none or very little of, that's a problem. But not I think for the group stages. I think it's going to be a problem for the knockout stages, like the quarterfinals, semifinals. I think he might panic a bit because the teams he's going to be facing are going to be filled with top quality players in every position. Like Real Madrid have the finest players in every position, Bayern, Barca. So I think his the fact that he's a novice at Champions League might make us lose out if we reach that for like quarterfinals, semifinal. But I think we'll probably reach at least the quarterfinals and then meet a Barcelona and then just lose the game.
I don't know if we can go far in the actual competition, but I really hope we don't shift down to the Europa League so early like we did 2 years ago. That was pretty bad, and I hope we don't see that again. I mean, because it's
as long as Moyes doesn't pick experimental lineups in the home games and we get 9 points, I think we'll be fine. But nobody wants the Europa League thing in this season, otherwise Moyes is going to get attacked like crazy.
Yeah. Is there anything else you guys want to discuss real quick, or I think we pretty much covered everything.
Sure.
What do you think of Moyes, his comments and everything, like throughout, like in his press conferences? What do you think of the guy?
He's a very genuine guy. He wants to be there for the fans and the whole the staff that works at United, but he seems to be a very good guy. He looks like he's channeling the situations well, and he knows what to expect from the fans and everybody else that's putting pressure on him. But he's definitely not going to tolerate the media, which I've seen a little of Fergie in him a little bit, and he knows what he's doing. He can handle himself well, so I don't think it should be that we should be worried at all, because he does have a little bit of experience. So what do you got? What do you think, Pat?
I think the only mistake he made was the comment about Rooney. He got caught out there, and that's that little bit of inexperience, I think. I
think that he maybe mixed his words up. I actually don't think he was second choice like he said Rooney was, or coming up along to that lines. But I think he said Rooney would still be starting in the team, but he'll be behind Van Persie, which will obviously he's the main guy up top.
That's what he said. He said that Rooney wouldn't be the main striker because Van Persie's there and Rooney be playing behind him. But the media obviously wanted a story, and then they just mixed up the words and they got the story they wanted. And speaking of Rooney and the transfer market, I think again the hierarchy was briefing the press. I think it was the Guardian again. There was an article on, and they said that around half the time of the chief executive of people like Michael Pollard and David Moyes, half the time this summer was spent on dealing with the Rooney saga. And they feel that, and this is clearly coming from the hierarchy, in my opinion. Clearly, they talked to somebody. But the Guardian said the hierarchy feels that not enough credit's been given to United, that they managed to keep Rooney, and they won that on the saga battle versus Chelsea. So, I hope the Rooney saga wasn't as big of a problem for Moyes and the hierarchy as they say it is. But if that's the case, then I can understand why so much time was wasted. But there's still a lot of nonsense that happened during the window that it clearly can't just be all Rooney's fault.
Right.
It's been a really weird situation. from the start with Fergie as well. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't understand what he was doing.
right.
Yeah, his autobiography's coming out. I hope Ferguson hasn't put in some crazy things in there. Otherwise, it's going to flare up the whole situation, Rooney all over again.
Yeah,
I mean, total respect to Rooney. He come on against Chelsea, played the game, and he went for it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And we miss him. We miss him badly.
yeah.
You seen that against Liverpool.
He played well, in my opinion, against Chelsea. Yeah,
Uh,
but
But do
yeah.
you think Moyes can win titles, though? Do you think he can win like Fergie did in the next, say, 5 years or something?
Very hard to say. I would have to see how he does, as the season goes along, and more and more season goes along, and to see if he's actually the right fit for the job. But I mean, he's coming on along well, in my opinion. I mean, we are off to a poor start. We haven't won. I mean, our record was poor against Anfield anyway, but we tackled the Chelsea game pretty well. And our opening day game was actually a very good one. But I don't know. It's very hard to say right now to see if Moyes can handle the pressures of being the United manager, the top boss for us. So, I mean, we have to see how things turn, and to see when we're actually at a low, to see how he's going to rise above it like Fergie's done, because Fergie's always, there for us whenever our heads were between our legs. He's always at us to keep, to drive us to do better. So hopefully we can see something like that from Moyes in the time. I mean, hopefully we don't get in that. I'm not saying we will get into that, but hopefully if we do actually get into that point of a low, then hopefully Moyes has it in him to bring the team out and actually help us do better.
yeah.
What do you think, Pat? We'll give you the last word before we end the show.
Like I said, I think we've got to give him the time. A few things surprised me. If Fergie had been in charge before the Chelsea game, I think we had something like 9 days without a game. And he used to organise little friendly matches just to keep the players going, yeah? Whereas Chelsea had a midweek game and we didn't. And I think it worked against us. At the beginning of the season, there's a complete cock-up with all these international games and friendlies.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
that doesn't help any manager, certainly not a new manager.
Right.
Moyes himself, if he can keep the team together, and that's where the transfers are going to be important, keep the team running, I think he'll do it.
Yeah.
A year, 2 years. But yeah, he has to have the time and he has to get the players.
Right.
And we need to get rid of some dead wood.
Right.
Young, Anderson. Like,
Man. Well, it's true though. I mean, they haven't done, anything for years now, and I don't know about Ashley Young anymore. I thought he was a bit of quality, but he's not getting any younger. And he's I don't know. He better turn his plans around before we sack him out of the club. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah. I guess if no one has any other further comments, then we'll go ahead and end this show. Nope. No one? No.
Nope.
No, that's me.
Yep. Well, it was a good time. I'm your host, D. Grant, 117, or Darren for short. Khalid and Patrick, thanks for coming on again for the show. Really appreciate your comments and opinions on the whole fiasco that we had for a whole good 2 months or so. But yep, that's it from us, and we'll see you sometime soon. Keep tuning in, and thanks for watching or listening.
Okay, thank you.
See you.
You.